The movie opens with two characters standing on top of a high-rise building. One of them is holding a gun, pointing it directly at the other's face. Below them, rows of explosives are set to blow up the entire building at any moment. From here, the story jumps into a flashback, introducing us to Kathak, a nameless, exhausted wanderer trapped in an endless loop of life. For 6 months, he hasn't been able to sleep. A silent, persistent insomnia has been consuming him mentally and physically. He works as a records coordinator for a company, analyzing various car accidents, as if the value of human life has been reduced to nothing more than statistics. Each morning is a battle with the office, and each night is a battle with loneliness. In between, he tries to distract himself by buying luxurious furniture, hoping to decorate his life into something meaningful, but his existence feels like it's dissolving into emptiness. Is this life truly his own, or just a false reality shaped by society? In the hope of escaping his exhaustion and anxiety, he visits a doctor, desperately needing sleep. His life has become torture, but instead of giving him medicine, the doctor mocks him and sends him to a cancer support group, telling him to witness real suffering. What does Kathak discover there? The raw, honest emotions of people standing at death's doorstep. No fake masculinity, no social masks, only pure, naked, unfiltered emotion. There he meets Bob, once a bodybuilder, now a victim of testicular cancer, suffering from the side effects of the steroids he once used. In this support group, one can cry, share their pain, and truly feel free for the first time. Kathak finally realizes that even his own suffering can be given a voice. That night, after a long time, he sleeps. For a whole year, he travels from one support group to another, slowly giving a structure to his mental struggles. Then enters Marla Singer, a mysterious woman who, just like him, appears at every support group, a perfect mirror image of his own deception. Her presence shatters his fragile sense of false peace and awakens the shadow he has been hiding inside. With Marla's arrival, Kathak's artificial sense of relief begins to crumble. Like Kathak, Marla also blends into each support group pretending to be a patient, only to absorb the emotions around her. But her presence irritates him deeply. Kathak decides to put an end to this fake drama. He threatens to expose Marla's truth, but Marla counters by threatening to reveal his real identity as well. Their conflict isn't just a fight over support groups. It's a deeper psychological war, a terrifying struggle to confront their own true existence. Eventually, they reach a compromise and divide the groups between themselves, as if negotiating peace for their own survival. Kathak often has to travel from city to city for work, inspecting cars that have crashed and meeting new people every day. During one of these trips, he meets Tyler on a flight, a strange, reckless man who seems like the complete opposite of him. Tyler sells soap, yet he also knows how to make explosives from everyday items. Kathak notices their suitcases are identical. Through their conversation, he finds Tyler incredibly intriguing. Then comes the life-changing moment. When Kathak returns from his flight, he discovers his apartment has been destroyed. A raging fire has consumed every luxury he owned. With nowhere else to go, he calls Tyler, because something deep inside him has already been drawn to this man. They meet at a bar and decide to live together. But as soon as they step outside, Tyler makes a strange request. He asks Kathak to punch him. At first, Kathak hesitates, but once he hits Tyler, something bursts open inside him. All the suppressed anger, pain, and frustration explode in one moment. This physical fight becomes more than violence. It becomes a journey of self-discovery, and it doesn't stop there. The next day, the next week, more and more men start joining them. All their repression, loneliness, and resentment merge into a new movement. Kathak no longer attends support groups. This fight has become his new liberation. The secret fights gradually evolve into something bigger. Together, Tyler and Kathak create an underground space beneath a bar, the Fight Club, an invisible revolution, a place where men break free from society's imposed rules and restraints. But the first rule of Fight Club is that no one may talk about it. This isn't just a battleground, it's a mental sanctuary. Here, everyone removes their masks. They express their real-life frustrations and suffering through punches and kicks. Fight Club becomes a path to freedom from society's control. Then one day, Marla calls Kathak, asking why he no longer goes to the support groups. He tells her he has found a new form of freedom, but it's only for men. Marla says she has taken a lot of sleeping pills, but Kathak shows no concern and hangs up. The next morning, he sees Tyler's bedroom door locked, something unexpected. The surprise grows when he finds Marla in the house. Annoyed by his reaction, she leaves. Later, Tyler admits that after Kathak hung up on her, he contacted Marla and spent the night with her. Hearing this makes Kathak uncomfortable. He realizes Marla is becoming a major trigger for his identity crisis. Meanwhile, Tyler and Kathak start stealing human fat from hospital dumpsters to make high-quality soap. During the process, Tyler deliberately burns Kathak's hand with acid. As Kathak screams in pain, Tyler teaches him that freedom doesn't come from avoiding pain, but from accepting it. This moment marks another shift in Kathak's mental transformation. Later, Kathak meets Bob again and learns that Bob has joined Fight Club too. Bob asks about Tyler, but Kathak grows uneasy. If he and Tyler created the club together, why does no one recognize him? Fight Club is no longer a secret. It has spread into a massive movement. Violence has become a new ideology of liberation. Tyler introduces a new rule. Members must start fights with strangers and deliberately lose control. Kathak watches as Fight Club transforms into something else. Not personal freedom, but organized rebellion. He confronts his boss, finally questioning him after all this time. When the boss tries to fire him, Kathak blackmails him. And when the boss refuses, Kathak starts beating himself up to make it look like his boss assaulted him. In the end, he walks away with compensation from the company. Meanwhile, Fight Club evolves into something even darker. A new organization called Project Mayhem, something Kathak had no idea about. This group spreads chaos across the city, destroying stores, buildings, and cars. Kathak realizes the situation has completely slipped out of his hands. One day, while driving, he asks Tyler what his real intentions are. But the two members sitting in the back remind him of the first rule of Project Mayhem: no one may ask questions. Kathak becomes increasingly frustrated. In a heated argument, Tyler deliberately crashes the car, then drags Kathak out of the wreckage. The next morning, Kathak wakes up to find Tyler gone. He sees Project Mayhem members working on something intensely. When Marla comes over, he tells her Tyler has left. Her anger rises, but her hidden fear is unmistakable. Something is wrong, but she doesn't know what. Then, during one of Project Mayhem's operations, Bob dies. And Bob's death leaves Kathak in silent, heart-shattering grief. A strange restlessness takes over his mind, as if everything around him is collapsing. He sets out to look for Tyler, but he can't find him anywhere. All he sees are members of Project Mayhem scattered everywhere. Kathak begins to feel as though he's chasing an invisible entity. He can't remember when Tyler went to so many places, or how he became acquainted with so many people. It's as if Kathak himself is slowly disappearing. One day, he goes to a bar. The moment he enters, everyone recognizes him and greets him. The bartender shows him a scar on his own hand and says that he, Kathak, was there the previous week, but the bartender calls him Tyler. This leaves Kathak completely bewildered. Reality seems to be slipping away from him, and his strange dual personality begins to clearly surface. These events push him into doubting his very identity. Back at the hotel, he calls Marla to ask if the two of them ever had any physical relationship. Marla then mentions Kathak's dual behavior, sometimes a loving Tyler, and sometimes a selfish Kathak. But even in this duality, Marla keeps calling him Tyler. Kathak freezes. He can't understand what's happening to him. It feels like he has become two separate people, stuck between two different realities. Just then, Kathak turns around and sees Tyler sitting behind him. Shocked, he asks Tyler, "Who are you?" Tyler replies, "You already know." And here, the real mystery of the movie is revealed. Through their conversation, Kathak realizes that Tyler is actually a figment of his imagination, a part of his mental hallucination. Everything Kathak wished he could do in real life but was too afraid to attempt, Tyler did on his behalf. Tyler was his courage and his fearlessness. But this dual identity, this imaginary self, is now driving him toward destruction. Kathak tries to calm his mind, but everything is spiraling out of his control. Members of Project Mayhem are everywhere. His life and mind feel trapped inside a bizarre illusion. He fears Tyler might kill Marla. This becomes his greatest worry. To protect both himself and Marla, he tells her to leave town immediately. Kathak knows Project Mayhem is preparing to destroy the world, targeting the city's credit card buildings so that all debts are erased. He goes to the police to confess everything. When the superior officer asks why he wanted to blow up the credit card buildings, Kathak replies that if they're destroyed, no one will have to repay any debt. But when the officer steps outside, Kathak realizes the police are also part of Project Mayhem. Instead of arresting him, they are ready to eliminate him. Kathak manages to escape after a desperate struggle, but he knows his fight is reaching its end. He returns to the building where everything began and starts disarming the bombs. but deep inside he knows a terrifying battle is happening within him. Tyler appears and asks, "How are you doing this?" And then Cathek understands Tyler is the embodiment of his fears, an intimate hallucination pulling him toward ruin. To end this inner conflict, Cathek begins hitting himself, fighting the imaginary war between him and Tyler. At one point, Tyler points a gun and says, "We're gonna destroy everything together." Cathek quietly tells himself, "You're only my imagination. You're not real." Then he shoots himself, but cleverly shoots through his cheek. He survives, but the Tyler persona dies. In the end, members of Project Mayhem bring Marla to him. Seeing his condition, Marla becomes terrified. Cathek tells the remaining members to leave. He and Marla then hold hands and watch the credit card buildings collapse in the distance. And with that, the movie ends. Throughout the entire film, Cathek's name is never actually mentioned, because he isn't just telling his own story. It's a story about all of us. You could even replace his name with your own. This is the story of everyone who feels trapped in the routines of daily life, everyone whose mind longs endlessly for freedom. Tyler represents our subconscious desire for limitless liberation. In that final moment, the death of Tyler and the rebirth of Cathek's identity become a powerful symbol. It teaches us that true freedom, freedom of mind and soul, comes only when we understand our real selves. And that becomes possible only when we break free from the chains of a capitalist society. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments.